हेलो एवरीवन, वी टू डिस्कस अबाउट दैट यूनियन बजट 2024-25। The Financial Minister Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman presented the budget for the 2024-25 on the July 2023-2024. In this, the notes and actuals for the 2023-24 are the announced. Are the detailed provision actions budget highlighted. Budget highlighted expenditures. The government is estimated is spend of the rate 48 lakhs 20,512 crores in 2024-25, 8.5% higher than the actual expenditures in 2023 and 24. Interest payment account for the 2024% of the total expenditures and 37% of revenue received. The received and others than the borrowings in 2024-24 are estimated to be the rate and 32 lakhs and 7,200 crores and 15% higher than the repeat in 2023-24. Tax revenue, in which forms the measures and part of the received, is also the expected to increase by the 11% over the received in 2023-24. GDP. The government has estimated the nominal GDP growth rate and of 10.5% in 2024-25, real growth and plus the inflation deficits and revenue deficit in 2024-25 and is targeted at the 1.8% of GDPs, and this is the lower than the actual revenue deficit of 2.6% GDP in 2023 and 24. Fiscal deficit in 2024-25 is targeted at 4.9% of GDP, and which is lower than the actual fiscal deficit of 5.6% of GDPs in 2023 and 24. New schemes. Rate 62,593 crore has been allocated to the Department of the Economic Affairs for the new schemes, and details not available. The allocation is for the capital expenditures and account for the 6.8% of the total capitals. Outlaw man tax proposals in the financial bills. Changes in the income tax and the regimes and tax. Slabs under the new and the taxes regime and has been modified, and the proposed tax structures and is shown in the tables 1. Standard deductions for the salarized individuals and the pensioners is the proposed to be the increase from the rate 50,000 and the 75,000 and the under the new and the tax regimes and deductions from the family pensions is also the proposed and to be increase from the raise and the 15,000 and to the 25,000 pensions contributions will be the tax and the deductibles and for the employment and up to the 14% of the salaries and from the 10% and yearly. Capital gain tax. Short-term capitals gain tax and on the listed equally equity and the shares units. Equity shares and the units and the mutuals and funds and the rate and invites proposed to be the increase from the 15% to 20%. Long-term capitals gains and taxes will be the levels and at the 12.5% across all the assets categories, and this was the yearly levies at 10% on the listed and equity and shares the qualities and the mutual fund and unit and rate the rate invites and aid the list unlisted asset will be the removed and listed and the financials asset and hold for more than other year and will be the classified as the long terms, and while the unlisted financial asset and all known and the financial asset and must be hold that Add the listed and add the list 2 years. 2 years to be the classified as the long terms and the examples and limits and for the long terms. दूध की कह रहा हो को दूध वो दूध की बोतल पिला दो. हाँ exemption limit and for the long terms capital and again for the listed equalities and shares the equity and the mutual fund and the business and trust and will be the increased and from 1 the lakh rupees and to the 1.25 lakh. Buyback of the shares will be the treated on per with the divided. Security transaction tax leveled on sale of the options in the security market will be the increase from the 0.00625% to 0.1% of the options premier and on the sale of features and will be the increase from the 0.0025% से लेकर 0.02% of the trading price. Tax deducted 8 sources. Rate of the tax deducted 8 sources TDS. नहीं तो खराब हो मत बहुत गर्मी लग रही हो चाहे. Direct tax and Bibetse and Bishwas and schemes in 2024. The schemes and will be the introduction for the settlements of the tax related disputes and it and the provided and for the legacies in payments of disputes and increase interested on the penalties on the tax accounts. The equalizations levy and the equalizations levy of 2% of the proceed and received by other non and the resident e-commerce and operations for the supply of goods or the services and will not be the applicable and from the August 1 2024. Change in the custom duty. Customs and duty rate and has been the changed for the several goods and it has been the reduction and for the goods such as gold and silver and mobile phones and there's the chargers adapters and contain item used in the textiles and steels and the capitals goods and sectors and has been the expected and from the customs duty and the custom duties has been the increase for the solar glass and used in the manufactures of the solar cells or the modules as certain chemical. Angel tax. The Income Tax Act provided for the levy of tax on the unlisted companies and for the receiving funds in excess of the tax and face values of theirs the share. This positions and will case to apply the disclosures of foreign assets the Black and Money Act and 2015 and has the penalties for not the declaring and assets and hold the abroad. And this will not and apply to the movable assets up to the rate 20 lakhs and immunities from the benami transactions. The prohibitions of benami and the property and transaction act 1988 make the beneficiaries and the beneficiaries owners and equality and culpables in orders to the encourage other benefits to the turn and approvals provisions is beings and made to the provided immunity. Policy highlights employment. 3 schemes to promote the employment and increase the workforce and participations were announced. Thus well and provided the wage supports up to the 15,000 to the first time employees registered with the EFPO and the initiative to the employees and employers in the manufacturing sectors force there the EPFO and contributions and the reimbursement of up to the rate and 3,000 and per month and for the employees and EPFO contribution per and the new employees and for the 2 years. Scaling schemes and to up and the skills and 20 lakh youth and over the 5 years and will be the launch. Under this the 1000 industrial training institution will be the upgraded and to meet the skillings and needs of the industry. Another schemes to provided the internships and opportunity for 1 and crores and youth in the 500 top companies and has been the announced and under this are the monthly and allowances of the 5000s and a the non either one and times and the assistance of rate and the 6000s and will be the provided and to the beneficiaries companies and can bear the training cost and 10% of the internships and cost from there the CSR funds. Assistant to the states plan will be the format enhances human resources and infrastructures and economic opportunity in Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh and financial supports of the rate 15,000 crores will be the provided into the Andhra Pradesh and four other new capitals and this year's MSME credit guarantee schemes for the MSME in the manufacturing sectors has been the announced and it will be the facilitated turn and loan for the purchasing machinery and equilibrium without the collaterals or the guaranteed self-financing and the guaranteed and fund will be the constituted to provided the guarantees and covers up to rate 100 crores and limits of the mudras loan and will be the increase and from the 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs and for the entrepreneurships and who have the avoid the paid loan and the previously energy. A roadmap will be the design and for the industrials and with the high carbon dioxide emission setting the emission targeted and for thus and the investment towards the emerging technologies in the nuclear energy will be made in the collaboration and with the private and sectors. Agriculture's exciting agriculturals and the research and setup will be the revenues. For other focus on rising productivity and developing climates and the resilience is crops, vegetable and the productions and the clusters near the major consumptions and the centers and will be the estimated as the naturals policy and will be the drafted and for the development of the cooperative sectors, urban and the rural development. A transit and oriented development and plan will be the formulated and for the 14 large cities with other populations over the 30 lakhs states and charging the high jump stamps and duties and will be the increases and to reduce them and the further slower than the urban and the rural development a the transits and the oriented development plan will be the formulated and for the 14 large cities and with other population over the 30 lakhs state charges high the stamp duties and will be the encourages and to the reduce them and the further slower than the boomers and buying properties and 3 the crores additionals and the houses and will be the built and under the PM Awas Yojana in rural and the urban areas. Budget estimated 2024 and 25 as compared and to the actuals and of the 2023 and 24. Total expenditures the government is estimated and to the spend and 48,205 and 12 crores in 2024-25. This is an the increase then of 8 over the actuals of the 2023 and 24 and the revenue expenditure is estimated into the grow 8 6.2% and of the account of the capital expenditures at the 17.1% and revenues and the expenditures growth being the kept in the check due to the pensions deficit expenditures subsidies and measures scheme and the manregas jal jeevan begum missions PM the kishan together. The total received including the borrowings and are the estimated and to be the 37,000 and 737 lakh and 700 to 7,200 crores and 15% higher than the actuals and 2023. The gap between thus between and thus the received and the expenditures will be the plugged and by borrowings and budget to be the rate and 16 13 and 312 crores and 2.4 lower than the actuals and of the 2013 23 and 24. Transfer to state. The central and government will transfer region 23 lakh and 48,980 crores and to the states and union territories in 2024 and 25 increased of 11.9% over the actuals and of the 2023 and 24. Transfer to state and the include the devolutions of the rate and 12,017 12 lakhs 12 lakhs and 47,211 and crores out of the divisibles and pools of the central taxes and grant worth and at 11.01 and 769 and crores. Deficit in 2024 and 25 revenue deficit is targeted at the 1.58% of GDP, lower than the deficit of the 2.6% of the GDP in 2023 and 24. Deficit in 2024 and 25 and the revenue deficit is targeted at the 1.8% of the GDP, lower than the deficit of the 2.6% of the GDP in 2023 and 24. Fiscal deficit is targeted at the 4.9% of the GDP in 2024-25, lower than the actuals and for the 2023-24 5.6% of the GDP is the lower it's the deficit into the expenditure which bring either change to the government assets and liabilities such as the construction of the road or the repayment of loan is the capitals and expenditures and all the others and the expenditures are revenue expenditures such as the payment of the salaries or the increased payment in 2024 and 25 and the actuals capitals and the expenditure is expected. Revenue expenditure is expected to the increase and the disinvestment is the government selling in the stake in the public sector undertaking the PSU in the 2023-24 the government estimated into the meet and 54.3% of its the distinguishment and targeted the disinvestment and towards repeat key highlighted of the 2024 and 25 received including the borrowing in 2024 and 25 are estimated to be the 27,700 7,000 27 lakh 7,700. This is the primary and the due to and the 11% of the growth in the center net tax collection. Gross rate tax revenue is budgeting to the increase and by the 10.8% in 2024 and 25 over the actuals of the 2023 and 25. This is the slight grade and the estimated and nominal GDP and growth of the 10.5% in the 2024-25. Receive and the excludings and the borrowings in 2024 and 25 are estimated to be the 37 lakh 7,200, an increase of the 15% over the actuals in 2023 and 24, and this is the primarily due to and the 11% growth in the central net tax collections. Gross tax revenue is budgeted to increase in the 10.5%, 10.8% and in the 2024 and 25 over the actuals of the 2023 and 25. This is the slide and grade the estimated and the nominal GDP and growth of the 10.5% in the 2024-25. Corporation tax is the estimated grow 8 the 12%, and whereas income is estimated and to the register other growth of the 13.6% GST, and revenue is budgeted to the increase by the 11% devolutions or to states, and from the center and state revenue is estimated and to be the 12 lakh 47,211 crore in 2024-25, and the increase of the 10.4% of the actual of the 2023 and 24 in the 2023 and 24 estimated according to the actual devolutions and to the state estimated and the 1 lakh 8,046. Non-tax and the revenue consistent and mainly of the interest received or loan and giving by the center and the divided license and fees and toll and the char and for the government and the services. It is the estimated of the 5 lakh 45,700 1 crores in 2024 and 25, an increase of the 36% over the actuals of the 2023 and 24. Capital is to receive including the borrowing and the average 8 700.